How much capital do you want to raise in the next 12 months? This program is best designed for people that want to raise at least $5 to $10 million. You can do this in 12 months. You can be on track to do it in a month. You can be on track to do it in one check. There's 4 levels of competence, in my opinion. The first one is what's called unconscious incompetence. So in other words, you don't know that you don't know. You don't know that you don't know. I'll give you an example of unconscious incompetence, okay? I'm 225 pounds now. I got up to about 255 or 260 pounds. I didn't know I was 260 pounds until I crossed the street and someone yelled, "Hey, fat ass, get off the road." And I'm like, me? How? I bought a scale. Literally. This is years ago. I bought a scale, I put it down, I stepped on it. I'm like, no, that's broken. Swear to God, I went back to the store. I'm like, this scale's broken. Tried another one. The same thing, same number. I was unconsciously unaware of the fact that I was so heavy. You understand? Like, it was a blinder that I didn't even know I didn't have. So some of you, in the context of capital raising, you may be unconsciously incompetent. Like, you literally don't know that you don't know. That's the first level. The second level is consciously incompetent. So now you know that you don't know. So I now knew that I was 30 or 40 pounds overweight. Like, the scale is right there. I am now consciously incompetent. I know that I'm overweight. Like, I am now aware I'm dealing with this. My concern for you guys in the capital raising context is that you will become consciously incompetent when you see the deal of a lifetime pass you by. That's when it'll hit you, if it hasn't already. Because you'll see something that you'll be like, man, cause in your brain, you're like, this makes sense. There's a hospital going in here. There's the GO train. There's this happening, whatever it is. Leo, you've probably had it many times over the years, right? Where you're just like, this is so obvious, right? And then you're sitting there and you're like, well, what do I do with this information? Because again, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, what if you can't hammer this one thing because financing's not available? Maybe you need to remediate the ground. Maybe there's something here. Maybe there's something here. Maybe you truly need to figure out how to put in equity, and this deal is only available for 10 days. Well, if you don't have the structure, if you don't have the tools, what are you going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. So you become consciously incompetent. The next step is I want to help you guys become consciously competent. And this is an ongoing process. This is something that you'll get a lot out of this weekend, but beyond this weekend, applying these tools, being part of a community, whether it's our community, other communities, is something that's going to be of service to you because you're going to continue to refine your ability to execute whatever that thing is. And the beautiful thing about this training is it doesn't matter if you're trying to build 200-300 units in the Maritimes, if you're trying to buy apartment buildings in the US like me, or if you're trying to buy commercial plazas in Southern Ontario or Industrial Blaze, or if you're trying to open up a car rental, whatever it is you're trying to do, as long as you understand how to structure and raise the capital, you can do it. Also, funds allow you to charge fees in very different ways than you can or can't or shouldn't in joint ventures or promissory notes, which is also a gray area for some people. In funds, it's very clear. It's very black and white. And then hopefully one day over a period of time, you become unconsciously competent. Like one of my best friends does Ironmans. He is unconsciously incompetent. The guy could go run a full marathon and, just get out of bed and go run a full marathon. I need like 6 months to go run a half marathon. By the way, just to give you guys a full loop on that overweight story, the first thing I did after that, when I knew that I was overweight, I went and signed up for an Ironman a year later. I had never swam. I didn't have a bike, and I wasn't exactly in a runner physique. But I did it because I forced myself to get into something. So, question, how much capital do you want to raise in the next 12 months? This program is best designed for people that want to raise at least $5 to $10 million. You can do this in 12 months. You can be on track to do it in a month. You can be on track to do it in one check. It's all a function of how much energy and effort you put into it, but this is possible. I've done it. It's one of the funds before COVID. We did 70 million in less than 2 years, or 68 million in less than 2 years. So it's there. It's all there for you guys. Another fund was 15 million. Another fund was like, it's there. This is all possible, guys. You just have to be able to structure it and see it through. So the mindset piece, the best way I've found to summarize the mindset is in the context of be, do, and have. The three types of personalities that concept impacts are the victim, the worker, and the winner. Now, the victim, by the way, just so you guys know, all three of those personalities are present in you, and you, and you, and me. The victim says things like, oh, well, that's easy for you, Marcin, because you have context, you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the track record. If I had those things, I could do what you're doing, and then I would be successful, or I would be happy. So the victim puts the lack of having as the reason why they're not doing anything about it, why they can't do anything. You guys understand? So literally, because you don't have something, you're immediately a victim. You can't do anything about it. I don't have this, therefore I can't do anything. I don't have any money, so I can't buy any real estate. Well, if I ever let money stop me, I would have never bought my first property. I would have never bought my first company. I would have never fill in the blank last thing I did. You figure it out. Right? So that's the victim mentality. Most of you are not the victim, but sometimes we end up having a pity party for ourselves. Like, hey, this is hard. This sucks. Like, I've been trying this for, if only I had, the right assistant, if only I had the right spouse, if only I had the right partner, if only I had the right whatever, fill in the blank. We all fall into that victim mentality sometimes. The next person is the worker. And the worker says things like, I need to do, have, be. So the worker will say things like, oh, I got to get this done because I got to have this commission check, because once I get this commission check, I can be more present with my kids. I can be more available to my spouse. I can be, happy. I can be relaxed. So the worker is constantly having to do something in order to get something before they can feel a certain way. They need to do X to have the notoriety, to feel value, to be, that person. That's their role. So that's the worker mentality. The one that hits different in the context of capital raising is the victor. The victor thinks in the context of this: who do I need to become to be able to do what's required to have the outcome I want? This is easier said than done, but this is the one thing that continues to be my North Star, my compass in my life, because I literally have this above my desk. And it's one of those things that whenever I come across something I can't handle, I ask myself the question of, okay, well, what am I missing? Who do I need to know? Who do I need to become? What am I not seeing to solve this issue? Because some other people have solved this issue. It's there. So what am I missing? Like, what is it about me that I am missing that is not giving me the ability to execute this correctly? And it's a different thought process, because you go from being a victim to a victor. You are now empowered to do something about it.